Today I'm going to show you how to safely jump start a car with jump leads using a second car as the donor for power. Stay tuned and let me show you how. We've all been there. You park up somewhere, go shopping, maybe you're going away on a holiday and you're leaving your car at the airport and you've left a light on and you come back and your battery's flat. If you're a relatively new motorist and this has never happened to you, don't worry, it will. It happens to all of us. It is always possible, of course, that there's more going on than a simple flat battery that depleted because you left a light on. The immediate problem is you want to get your car started so you can drive home. Fairly simple, yeah? Well, one way you can do that is by jump starting your car from another car. I don't know why I'm pointing at my Saab like I'm jump starting it from the Fiesta, because I'm actually going to be doing that the other way around. If you're a sensible motorist, you'll have a set of jump leads in the boot. Or if you can find somebody else in the car park near you who's got a set of jump leads and is willing to jump start you, this is probably the easiest method to do. You could always bump start the car, or you could always call out the rescue, but of course you'll have to wait for them to arrive. You'll be way down their priority list if they get called out to an accident. This is a fairly simple 5-step process. Step 1, bring your donor car to your invalided car, close enough to each other that the leads can reach from one battery to the other, far enough apart that you can get between them, and bonnets up. Obviously, if either car has its battery in the boot, then it might be boot to bonnet, boot to boot even. You get the picture. Step 2, we need to connect the power to the invalided car. Start with your positive red lead. Put one end down on the floor and with the other end connect to the positive terminal of the donor car's battery, making sure to get a really good connection. Plenty of metal to metal contact between the crocodile clip and the battery terminal. Now pick up the other end of the positive lead, keep it well away from the donor car and connect it to the positive terminal of the invalided car. Again, make sure you've got a good contact there. Now with your negative black lead, one end on the floor out of the way, the other end to the donor car, connect it to the negative terminal of the battery, again making sure to get a good connection. And the final connection is the second earth connection, or negative connection. Keep it away from the invalided car's battery, try and find a connection on the engine block, a bracket or something. In this instance I'm going to use the alternator bracket. The reason for that, because when you connect it, you could create a spark. And if you create a spark next to the battery here, well, that's potentially bad because batteries do actually produce hydrogen gas, which is flammable. And if there's a little concentration of hydrogen gas here, you could actually cause a fire. Yes, that risk is extremely low, particularly with modern sealed batteries, but let's not take the risk. For much the same reasons, try and keep this connection away from the fuel system as well. Again, not so much of a problem on modern fuel injected cars as it was years ago on older carbureted cars. Now, step 3, start the donor car. Sit in the donor car, raise the revs of the engine to around 1500, and while you're holding that there for about 40 seconds or so, turn any accessories off like lights, radio, interior light, heater, fan, anything that's on, turn it off. And continue to hold the engine speed at around 1500 for about 40 seconds to a minute. That just ensures that the engine's going fast enough that the alternator's giving plenty of output power, and it allows some of that power to go along through the jump leads to the invalided car's battery and get some initial charge into that battery, because that initial charge is going to assist the invalided car to start. Now start the invalided car. Now if the owner of the donor car is with you, or somebody else who can do this, hold the donor car's engine speed at around 1800 RPM. That way the full alternator output is assisting the other car's battery to get this one started. Keep your feet away from the pedals, turn off any accessories that might be on, such as fans and light, and start as you would normally. Keep your feet off the pedals and allow the invalided car to run on cold start enrichment as it would normally, and let it settle down its revs. Do not be tempted to rev the engine up on the invalided car. There is a danger that you could do some damage to some electronics of either car if you do that, but even if you did, you're not doing any good. It actually doesn't help the invalided car's battery to charge up any faster, and it doesn't help the engine to warm up any faster. There is no point anyway. Now, step 4. Allow both cars to run at a natural idle for about 1 minute and then stop the engine in the donor car. Some authorities actually tell you to stop both vehicles and to disconnect the black lead from the casualty vehicle and then try to start it again and make sure that it starts okay. But that is not the standard procedure where I used to work, and I actually don't see the point in doing that, because the effort that you've gone to by running the vehicles and doing this in the first place to get a little bit of charge in the casualty battery is effectively wasted. You're taking that charge back out and pushing it back towards being flat again. The standard procedure where I used to work was to leave the casualty car running, but to stop the donor car, remove the negative on the casualty car, put it down on the floor out of harm's way, and remove the other end from the donor car. Now disconnect the positive from the casualty car. When you're disconnecting these, disconnect sharply, squeeze, pull away, so that there's no chatter of the jaws on the terminals, which could lead to sparks. And finally, remove the positive from the donor vehicle. Now put your leads away somewhere safe, in your boot or wherever. The last part of step 4, of course, is to thank the owner of the donor vehicle, load up and drive the casualty vehicle home. Step 5 will occur at home. But whilst you're driving home, be very careful not to stall your engine. Try and take a route that's easy driving. If you do get stuck in traffic or have to stop at traffic lights, be aware that you might want to give it a few more revs when you're setting off. You don't want to stall your engine, just in case it won't start again. And of course then you're back at square one, but now you're no longer in a nice convenient car park, you're in the road causing an obstruction. Once you're safely home, step 5 is to put your battery on charge with a proper battery charger. Set it on an appropriate mode, recovery mode probably. Don't be tempted to just leave your car running thinking that the battery will charge up. Alternators are not designed to fully charge a flat battery. Simple as. You need a charger. No amount of driving will fully charge a flat battery using the alternator alone. Not only that, you'll probably spend more on petrol than you would just buying a fairly cheap charger. If you got value out of this video, please give it a like down by the title. Maybe consider supporting the channel, links in description. And I shall see you in the next video.